What's up, everybody? Ben with the BTC Sessions here, and this is your daily session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.
All right, before we jump into the news, I just want to remind everybody, please do check out my website, btcsessions.ca. This is where you can reach out to me personally and you can book me for your own BTC session and learn about the topic of your choice. Maybe you want to learn how to set up a wallet. Maybe you need some advice on security. Maybe you just want to talk about some overarching topics. I am happy to oblige. Reach out to me. We'll set up a time and we'll figure something out. Okay. Also, if you'd like to grab some swag, some BTC Sessions swag, there are shirts, there are mugs, and all kinds of stuff here. Why would you do this? I don't know. Nobody has yet, but one day somebody will, and I will be excited. Anyways, let's move on. CCN article here. There's some speculation from technical analysts saying that Bitcoin price could drop to $2,400, which would be around 25% from its current levels. But that said drop would entice Wall Street to buy the dip. They go on to compare this to the silver bubble and draw some lines on charts. Now, what do I think about this? I kind of think it's bullshit. Now, let me clarify. I don't think that a drop to 2,400 is bullshit necessarily. That's entirely possible. But do I think that it has anything to do with similarities in the silver bubble and that pop? No. Do I think that Wall Street will finally buy the dip at $2,400? No, I think that's stupid. Why? Well, I mean, really, if Wall Street is looking to jump in on Bitcoin, they're not looking at it at 3,600 going, oh, that's pretty expensive. I better wait for that dip to 2,400 before I put any money in. If you're putting money into Bitcoin at all, you're probably looking fairly long term. So it's more of a perspective of, is it going to matter if you got in at 2,400 or 3,600? If it succeeds, then probably not. And to think that the main reason Wall Street isn't currently jumping in is because it's at 3,600 versus 2,400 is a tad ridiculous in my head. Anyways, 2,400, possible? Yeah, sure, why not? But I do kind of personally feel like we're getting close to a bottom. I feel like what we're at right now is kind of the worst of the worst. There could be dips below that 3,100 level that we hit before, but yeah, I kind of feel like a lot of people have been shaken out. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on here. Law enforcement requests to Shapeshift have rose 175% in the second half of 2018. So regularly, law enforcement will reach out to Shapeshift, which if you don't know, easy way to switch between coins, or it used to be, and ask for details on certain metrics of transactions coming in and out. So maybe IP addresses, identities, stuff like that. Now, Shapeshift, you used to be able to just go on there without any identification whatsoever and trade between coins. But they recently announced that, hey, we're going to implement membership where you need to disclose your identification and so on and so forth. I do feel bad because Eric Voorhees, the guy who started Shapeshift, was very early in the space and he's in it for very libertarian reasons. So for them to have to do this, there must be pressure on him somewhere, which is unfortunate to see. I know that some people aren't fans of Eric at this point because he was a big proponent of the SegWit 2x fork, which ended up failing miserably and was seen as a potential attempt for corporations to take over the direction of Bitcoin and its development. I did happen to see it that way as well. I don't think that he was ill-intentioned in getting behind that, but that's kind of besides the point because being part of something like that, I think it was not a good look. Regardless, they've been seeing an increase in law enforcement asking them for a lot of details around a lot of these transactions that are going through their website. And yeah, such is life when you become compliant like that. This is going to happen. So expected. Bitcoin node count stabilizes. It's back up over 10K in the past 3 months. It had a dip in 2018, which makes sense. Bear market, maybe some people just didn't feel like running their nodes or lost interest, but it is back up over 10K. Those are reachable nodes. Some of the other metrics place it at, what's the number I'm looking for? Ooh, of course, there we go. Around almost 65,000 Bitcoin core nodes at press time on, this was yesterday, January 16th. So, why is it climbing now? Well, probably some renewed interest, but I personally think, and they go on to say later in the article, you have options like this, the Casa node, which I am running currently. I did do a video on the Casa node, so I'll put that in the cards, description down below and everything. Go check that out because it is a cool piece of plug-and-play hardware that allows you to run a node and a Lightning node. And you're seeing more things like this. I had a Bitseed previously. There's the Nodl. So these plug-and-play nodes are starting to hit the market, and people are becoming interested in them, which is great because it helps boost the resiliency of the Bitcoin network. So very happy to see this news here. And finally, we're going to jump into Ethereum. I touched the other day on the postponement of the hard fork. Ethereum had a planned hard fork to Constantinople, but a firm found a critical vulnerability that would essentially allow somebody to drain a smart contract of its funds by withdrawing over and over and over again in the middle of a transaction. They could execute the same function again and essentially take out the same money until there was no money left in the contract. Anyways, the hard fork was postponed. We now see that it is being postponed to late February. It looks like between February 26th and 28th is when they're planning to actually go ahead with Constantinople. But apparently some people didn't get the memo because there has been a chain split on Ethereum, and an estimated 10% of miners stayed on the fork. Now, what they're mining is essentially worthless because the reason that the fork was called off was because of this critical vulnerability, and those people are putting all of this time, effort, and capital towards mining a token that is totally worthless. Now, some might say the same thing about regular Ethereum, but I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But there has been a chain split. It appears that this is not purposeful. It looks like some people just didn't realize that they were on the wrong chain and were still running the wrong software, and this is what we have. So money lost for some people, but it looks like gradually people are cluing in and reallocating their hashing power back to the main Ethereum chain. An expensive lesson, it would appear. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. This is a short one because it's Friday and I got shit to do. So have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Thank you for stopping in for your daily session, and I will see you guys Monday on the BTC sessions.